experience so far? I know from the day you got here and the band greeted you, it was exciting, but I know it's a business trip as well. What's it been like the few days that you've been here?
Well, it's been a great trip for our players, and I think obviously our coaches, and now that we're getting closer to game time, obviously that focus gets even more intense the closer you get to Saturday, and at this point, we feel like the fun stuff is just about over. It's time to get dialed in. Obviously with early curfews, with mandatory meals in the evenings, and then obviously meeting times will be more extensive. So it's getting a lot closer to the time. We've got to be ready to go.
As far as San Diego State, give us your impressions on the Aztecs.
I want to tell you, very talented team. I tell you, when you look at them offensively, you see just a double-edged sword. If you try to put a lot of people in the box to stop Hillman, and their quarterback can hurt you in the passing game with those big tight ends. And then if you try to spread out to stop the passing game, then you're absolutely going to have a lot of trouble with Hillman running the football. And so we're going to have to do a great job of tackling, and we're going to have to do a good job of calling our defenses, and hopefully we can guess right a few times.
Offensively, what are some of the troubles with their defense and kind of what they bring as far as pressure on the edge?
Well, I'll tell you, that's one thing. They do bring a lot of pressure, and we saw a defense that's very similar to them already this year, sort of somewhat the same scheme, and it was very tough to execute against it. They do bring a lot of pressure, and they've got a very good front. Their linebackers, I think, are very solid. I think this overall very good defensive football team that plays really hard.
Coach, how does this team, or how are they handling all this hoopla that surrounds a football game?
Surprisingly, for being at their first bowl game these guys have ever been to, they're handling it really, really well. And we've got, a really good group of seniors that has overcame a lot to get to where they are. And I think they realize what an opportunity they have, and they want to make the most of it.
For you yourself, what's been the most rewarding part about turning this program around this season?
Probably our seniors. Seeing our seniors enjoy playing the game, seeing our guys on our team that's been through some long, lean years, and now get them to knowing they're going to finish their career in a bowl game. And we've got about 4 players on our team that grew up in New Orleans, that's sort of been around the world from junior college back to the University of Louisiana, and now they're going to play their last game in the Dome, less than a mile away from where they grew up.
You like the matchup in this game for your team and matching up with them, or you think that you like the matchups?
Well, I think obviously two very good football teams. I think they create a lot of problems. We'll have to play really well. Our whole key is, I think everybody knows, we're a fourth quarter football team. We have been all year. If we can get that game to the fourth quarter, we'll see what happens. So we're going to have to play very well now throughout this course of this game, because they're very dangerous.
How has extended your season with the bowl bid and playing the bowl game right here in the state of Louisiana help your recruiting efforts?
Oh, just anytime you're in a bowl game, that's the best recruiting you can do. And because now you're getting a lot of exposure through the extra TV and newspaper articles every day that's out about your practices, about the game. So all this exposure has been huge for our program, and the added practice time that you're able to give your freshmen. So it just builds and builds and builds.
Coach, what does this mean not only to your university but the entire state of Louisiana?
I think it's big for our state. We've got a lot of very good college football programs in this state, and so we've been wanting obviously to be much improved than we are, and we know we've still got a long ways to go, but we think in 11 months we've really closed the gap and made a lot of progress.
Coach, you guys played like the entire season without a bye week. With the time off, how do you feel about these guys maybe not getting out to a slow fast start?
I hope we do. I hope we can get off to a really good start, because we know we did not have a bye week until week 11 this year. We was the last team in college football to do so. But the time has helped us heal up a little bit and at least get our legs back. And so hopefully it'll help us on Saturday.
How much did being picked near the bottom of the Sun Belt and being ranked low in the country even, how much did you use that as motivation this year?
A little bit. Anytime, you're picked 120. We were picked 120 by one poll, 118 by another. And that was, don't think I didn't use that. And I think if you don't go to work every day with that in the back of your mind, you don't have any pride in yourself. And so I know it got to me, and I hope it got to those kids, and I think it did with the way we worked.
Following up that question, right now, from what I hear, you're a slight underdog going into this game, yet you're going to have a lot more fans. You're 2 hours from your campus. motivation there?
Well, think about it. We've been an underdog just about in every game this year. So I'm really glad we are the underdogs. The game that we did lose, we were favorites. So we're right where I'd like to be picked. So hopefully we can prove them wrong once again.
The team has used a lot of you have used a lot of motivational tactics with the team, breaking out the black helmets, infusing black.
Yeah.
Anything this week for you guys?
You don't know. Never know. We may break out white helmets. So just keep your eyes open. We may have a little surprise for everybody on Saturday. So.
Coach, this year, at what point maybe was there any certain game or any certain moment where you said, "Wow, this is a team that might be maybe like a postseason kind of team"?
I'll say this, and a lot of people, and I told people this our first of the year. We played Oklahoma State the first game of the year, and they beat us by 27. We scored 34 points on them, the second most of any team in the country. They beat Texas Tech by 63 points this year. So we played them about as well as anybody in the country, and we outscored them in the second half. And so after the game was over, in the locker room, although we was feeling bad for getting beat by 27, I still felt like, we may have a shot to have a pretty good football team because the guys never quit. And they've been like that all year. They play 4 quarters. They play really hard. And they've been some of the key reasons we've pulled out a lot of games this year.
You talking about the development of Blaine Goche over this season?
Well, I tell you, he was not even the start quarterback till week 4. We sort of played musical chairs, trying to wait for that one guy to step up. And then you can start seeing his progression, his progress, because we kept putting him in the game for that spark. And so finally I said, hey, let's just keep the spark the whole time. And he really did some good things.
Were you enjoying this? I mean, this is your first gig as a head coach at this level, getting a bowl game too. You enjoying this?
Oh, no question. And you've got to enjoy that. And that's what you've got to remember. For these kids, it's got to be fun. It's got to be a reward. Going to a bowl is a reward. But first and foremost, going to a bowl, your job is to win that game. And so there's a fine line between hopefully these guys have a great bowl experience. And one more tell you, the New Orleans Bowl, people have done a great job of making it a great event for our guys. But at the end of the day, it's our job to go out and win this game.
Have you heard from any of your other cohorts that maybe some of the guys you work for, Dan Mullen, other guys, anybody called you and said?
Oh yeah, get a lot of calls, a lot of texts, from across the country, just from the coaching world and friends, congratulating us on, from going from basically 120 to where we are right now. We were actually 32 in the BCS after week 7, so we climbed pretty good little chunk in 11 months.
In big games, Arizona, trying to get those more landmark wins, you kind of roll the dice a little bit. Fourth downs, onside kicks. Do you just kind of throw all the cards on the table in this game?
Hey, we don't have anything to lose. I can promise you that. We're going to play hard, and it's no reason to hold anything back, for this last game, because it's not like anybody's going to scout you for next week. So we're going to come out and play hard and get our guys totally excited and juiced up before the game. They're going to be excited out of their mind. I'm going to tell you that when we get to the field, because most of our guys grew up in the Dome watching the Saints, dreaming of playing on that field. And now a lot of our guys are going to play their last game in the Dome on that same field.
Coach, to get this win, it's motivation enough, but being the primetime game, ESPN, it's a pretty good factor there.
That's huge. And so to get that type of exposure for our university is, I don't know if there's a university in the country that could go out and buy a 3-hour commercial. Basically, is what that is for our football program in our university. So it's just a great opportunity for our whole program and for our whole for our entire university.
Coach, I was working out in Homo when you were at Nicholls State as an assistant. You got a number of those guys on the staff here. Just tell me a little bit about maybe what some of these guys bring to the table and about that staff at that time.
Well, that was sort of a unique staff. I thought we had a really good staff back in the day, and when it was all a bunch of young coaches. These guys, though, have been around the state of Louisiana, and that's why I hired them, because they recruit the state very well. And I felt like we've put together a really good staff, and it was critical to be able to do that, to recruit this state.
Just briefly mention a little bit about what maybe each brings to the table.
Well, Tim Rebo, I think, is the best recruiter in the state of Louisiana. He does a great job. Really good defensive back coach. Dave Saunders is a guy that is probably one of the top academic specialists in the country for us. Helping players get eligible, so he is really big. And Mitch Rodriguez recruited this state too, and so those guys that were there at that time are doing phenomenal jobs.
Coach, is there any chance of you guys playing LSU or Tulane down the road?
Matter of fact, we play Tulane next year at home. And then we play, if I'm not mistaken, I believe LSU's coming up in about maybe 13. We'll open up next year with Florida. All right.
Thanks,
Okay.
Coach.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.